Have you ever looked at a weather map and wondered why this specific winter beast is spiraling into one of the most explosive bomb cyclones of the entire season? And why you absolutely need to keep your eyes peeled right this second? It is Saturday, December 27th, 2025. Already the 361st day of the year, and let me level with you. The system heading our way is going to completely lock down travel across the Midwest and beyond. We saw a little dusting in the Northeast last night, sure, but think of that as just the opening act before the main event kicks off across America during this precious holiday week. Just as folks are packing up to head home from Christmas dinners, the atmosphere has cooked up a plan that is going to test our patience and our emergency kits like nothing else this winter. Right now, there is a ridge parking lot of warm air over the central and southern states, but this is exactly where the plot thickens. A massive low-pressure system is hopping the Rockies and gathering serious muscle over the plains. And this is the main character in our story as we track a truly formidable storm. At 4 minutes and 30 seconds, I am going to walk you through how this 971 millibar bomb cyclone will whip up wind gusts topping 60 miles per hour and literally freeze the heartland in its tracks. By the 8-minute mark, you will see why the physics behind this explosive cyclogenesis is both captivating and scary. It is all about short-wave energy phasing together to create a massive atmospheric vacuum. When we hit 12 minutes, I will map out the specific dangers for 50 major cities across the nation, explaining why some of you will face whiteouts while others get severe thunderstorms. By minute 16, I will tell you why the severe weather threat looks worse on paper than it really is, though it is still risky, and why Indianapolis and Memphis need to stay alert for storms while they sleep. And at 20 minutes, I will show you how the lake effect machine kicking in afterward could bury towns under 1 to 2 feet of snow and snarl up local roads for days. But first, pull up a chair and let me explain what makes this setup so unique and why seasoned meteorologists are genuinely holding their breath over what is coming. This monster is going to drink up a massive amount of moisture from the Gulf starting tonight, and by tomorrow it transforms into a full-blown bomb cyclone right over the Great Lakes. Basically, that is just fancy talk for a powerful low-pressure system that strengthens incredibly fast, and I mean in the blink of an eye, through a violent churning process in the sky. Usually, storms take their sweet time getting stronger as they drift north, but this one, it is going to explode in intensity. That rapid drop in pressure is going to drag a whole lot of freezing air down on the backside, mix it with that southern moisture, and voila, you have a recipe for blizzard conditions. The bullseye for this snowy onslaught is aiming right at the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, specifically locking on to eastern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and the upper peninsula of Michigan. Expect things to go downhill fast Sunday night, peaking Monday morning, and honestly, it is going to bring life to a total standstill across a huge chunk of Wisconsin and the Michigan UP. This is a big deal, friends. The science is wild because we are seeing that classic bomb genesis where energy waves sync up to hollow out the atmosphere. That process tightens the pressure gradient enough to scream with wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour, leaving us with a deep 971 millibar low by Monday. It is going to be absolutely wild out there, with intense lake effect snow kicking up even in mainland Michigan as that bitter cold air rushes over the relatively warm waters. We are talking snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches every single hour mixed with howling winds to create whiteouts. It is going to be messy and dangerous. This is the part where I need to break it down for my family across the map, because this storm wears different masks depending on where you live. Let's talk about the blizzard zone first. If you call the Twin Cities, Milwaukee, or northern Wisconsin home, I need your full attention right now. Minneapolis and St. Paul might be staring down the barrel of the heaviest snow of the winter, with 12 to 18 inches piling up and wind chills plunging way below zero. Up in Duluth and the Iron Range, it could be even deeper. Think 18 to 24 inches with cold that could become life-threatening by Monday evening. Milwaukee, Madison, and Green Bay are in for a bruising too. 8 to 14 inches of snow and winds strong enough to cut power for hundreds of thousands of folks. And here is a worry of mine. Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and eastern Iowa could get buried under substantial snow as this system rolls through Sunday night. As for Chicago, well, the Windy City is about to earn its nickname because this bomb cyclone is going to whip up some nasty conditions all over the metro area. O'Hare and Midway are bracing for big delays, and the lakefront could get extra snow dumping off Lake Michigan. This could be one for the history books. Detroit, Grand Rapids, and the rest of Michigan will contend with heavy snow from the storm itself, followed by a 1-2 punch of lake effect bands. But things get really intriguing and crucial for folks in Cleveland, Toledo, and points south, because you are sitting in the transition zone. That is the line where we switch from heavy snow to a completely different beast. Severe weather stretching across the Ohio Valley and further south. I want to be straight with you about this storm threat. It looks like a classic severe setup for the Ohio Valley, but there is a silver lining that makes it less terrifying. We have tons of wind shear and strong winds aloft, plus decent moisture. But we are missing that high instability, the rocket fuel for thunderstorms. So we have 3 out of the 4 ingredients for an outbreak, but without that instability, the volume on this whole event gets turned down significantly. That means any storms that do pop up will likely be short and shallow, not those towering supercells, but quick blasts that can still cause headaches. I suspect damaging winds will be the main issue, though we cannot ignore the chance of a tornado or two, especially near St. Louis, Indianapolis, and Memphis. The danger zone opens up Sunday afternoon and goes into the night, meaning this is a nocturnal threat. These storms will be prowling while you are trying to sleep. Columbus, Cincinnati, and Dayton will be dancing on that line where heavy snow turns into severe thunderstorms as the front sweeps through. Indianapolis, Louisville, and Nashville need to watch out for that overnight wind threat as a sharp cold front comes barreling in. St. Louis and Memphis, you all need to have a plan for Sunday night storms. And Birmingham, along with northern Alabama, might see some rough weather too. For my people on the East Coast, Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse will see moderate snow from the storm, followed by days of relentless lake effect. The Tug Hill Plateau could rack up another 2 to 3 feet just from the lake effect. Buffalo and Watertown prepare for that classic snow belt burial. Boston, New York, and Philadelphia will be skirting the southern edge, mostly just rain for the big cities, though you might see a mix early on. Have you ever seen a weather forecast that made you want to call everyone you love and tell them to stay put? For my family around D.C., Baltimore, and Richmond, it looks like you'll mostly be dealing with a cold rain. But don't let your guard down. A tiny shift in the track could change everything. Now, I hadn't forgotten about my cousins down south and out west. Listen, just because you aren't in the bullseye of this beast doesn't mean you won't feel the sting of it. Down in Atlanta, Charlotte, and Raleigh, you all need to keep a sharp eye on the sky Sunday night because that cold front could bring some nasty winds and strong storms your way. For the Texas crew in Dallas, Houston, and Austin, y'all might catch a few rumbles of thunder, but the real fireworks show is staying way up north and east of you this time. Over in Denver, Salt Lake City, and Phoenix, brace yourselves for a serious chill. You won't see much snow, but that temperature is going to drop like a rock behind this system. Seattle, Portland, and San Francisco, you lucky ducks get to keep your usual Pacific vibes going while the rest of the country deals with this frozen nightmare. Listen close now, because timing is absolutely everything here, and the window to get your house in order is closing faster than you think. Come Sunday morning, this storm starts drinking up moisture from the Gulf like a sponge. That is your first clue that things are about to go downhill fast. By Sunday afternoon, the monster really wakes up, and that scary window for rough weather slams open right across the Ohio Valley. That is when it gets real. Sunday evening into the night is when it gets ugly. Peak danger for storms down south, and the start of a blinding blizzard for my folks up north.
Monday morning is the main event, with pressure dropping to 971 millibars over the Great Lakes, bringing winds and snow that will take your breath away. Once Monday afternoon hits, the storm heads for Canada. But don't clap yet. The lake effect machine turns on, and that could torment us for days on end. What really keeps me up at night is that those lakes are still wide open and warm, which is basically rocket fuel for creating heavy, non-stop snow. We are talking 1 to 2 feet of snow piling up where the bands hit hardest, coming down so fast it will shut down every road in town, so please be ready. I know a lot of you are worried about getting home, and I love you too much to lie to you. It is going to be an absolute mess on the roads. If you are trying to beat the rush home from Christmas and your route goes through the blizzard zone, you need to leave right this second, or stay put until at least Tuesday. Interstates 35, 80, 90, and 94 might as well be parking lots. We are looking at zero visibility and conditions that no car can handle safely. The airlines know what is coming too. Expect major headaches and cancellations at airports in Minneapolis, Chicago, Detroit, and Cleveland starting Sunday night. But here's the thing that really nags at me. It is not just this one storm. It is how stubborn and dangerous this whole weather pattern looks for the long haul. The setup that is birthing this huge cyclone tells me we might be walking into a very busy, very snowy stretch for the northern states. That jet stream driving this chaos isn't going anywhere fast, which means we could see storm after storm lining up to hit us in the coming weeks. Believe it or not, this isn't the only headache on the horizon. Things are heating up, and we have got several systems to keep a close eye on. Let's talk brass tacks for a second. If you are in the path of this thing, you need to prepare for more than just a little snow on the driveway. Lights are going to go out when those 60-plus mile-per-hour winds hit wet, heavy snow on the lines. So be ready to sit in the dark for a bit. If you are in the blizzard zone, stock up on food, water, medicine, and batteries like you're hunkering down for a long winter nap. You might be stuck for days. And please, check your car. Throw an emergency kit in the trunk because if you slide off the road, help might be a long time coming. To my farming family, this is no joke. Get your cattle and animals behind a windbreak because the wind chill is going to be absolutely brutal on them. First responders are going to be overwhelmed across half the country, so playing it safe and staying home is the best gift you can give them right now. I want to pause for a second and share something heavy that has been on my heart while I've been looking at these maps. Here we are trying to enjoy the holy days between Christmas and New Year's, and it feels like Mother Nature is throwing us a massive curveball to test our patience. Times like these really test our spirit and show us what our communities are made of. It is sink or swim, and we have to do it together. I have seen it 1,000 times. The towns that make it through okay are the ones where folks knock on doors and check on their neighbors. If you know an older person or someone who needs extra help down the street, go over there now and make sure they are set before the snow flies. This is the moment for churches and local groups to step up. Open those doors and show what real love looks like in action when people are in need. If any of you are feeling anxious or need a prayer for safe travels or family peace, leave a comment below so we can lift you up. Storms like this are a humble reminder that we aren't running the show and that we really do need to lean on each other to get through. Let me circle back to a few specific details about this bomb cyclone that are making the hair on the back of my neck stand up. That pressure drop to 971 millibars is going to whip up winds unlike anything we have seen around the lakes all winter long. When you mix pressure that low with plunging temperatures over the water, you are brewing the perfect recipe for monster lake effect snow. The scary part about lake effect is that it's a roll of the dice. You never know exactly where those heavy snow bands will set up shop. One street could get 6 inches while a town 5 miles over gets buried under 2 feet. That is just how wild and unpredictable this beast can be. Folks in Buffalo and Watertown, I know you are used to this routine, but do not underestimate this one. It could be intense even for seasoned veterans like you. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan is about to take a beating from both the storm and Lake Superior, and that 1-2 punch is going to be devastating. Something we don't talk about enough is the hit our wallets are going to take with a storm landing right in the middle of the busy holiday rush. We have millions of travelers, shipping trucks trying to deliver late gifts, and stores trying to clear shelves, all running headfirst into a wall of snow. Ever stop to think about what actually happens when our biggest highways and runways freeze over right in the middle of the busiest travel week of the year? It isn't just about delayed flights. It puts a real squeeze on the supply lines that bring food to our tables and medicine to our pharmacies, especially when they're already maxed out for the holidays. But let's take a breath and look at the bigger picture here. Because storms like this aren't just weather events. They're pop quizzes on how tough we really are. I've been chasing weather for a long time, fam, and I'll tell you this. The towns that get back on their feet the quickest are the ones where folks are tight-knit before the first flake falls. I'm talking about the blocks where you know who lives 3 doors down, where you check on the sweet old lady across the street, and where lending a snowblower is just what you do. This blizzard is going to put those relationships to the test, sure, but look at it as a chance to strengthen those connections if they aren't there yet. Our plow crews are about to be worked to the bone. We are looking at a massive area getting blanketed all at once, so patience is going to be key. City budgets are already running on fumes, and don't be surprised if the smaller towns have to scream for help from the county or state just to dig out. The emergency teams are talking to each other across state lines, which is good, but there is only so much help to go around when a system this big hits everyone at the same time. Now, pull up a chair for a second because we need to chat about what comes after this mess and why this might just be round one. The massive engine in the sky driving this bomb cyclone, all that blocking and jet stream chaos, doesn't just pack up and leave when the snow stops. If this pattern gets stuck, we could be staring down the barrel of a very busy January with storm after storm lining up to take a swing at us. So if you get walloped this weekend, don't just think about surviving Saturday. Start planning for a long, hard winter haul. To my farming family out there, this deep freeze isn't going anywhere fast. So please keep a close eye on your herds and your machinery. Keeping the house warm is going to get expensive as that Arctic chill parks itself over us. And I know that is going to hit a lot of wallets hard, from retirees to small shop owners. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have a monster on our doorstep right now that needs our full focus. The doctors and nurses are bracing for a wave of patients. Everything from frostbite and carbon monoxide issues to the heart strain that comes from shoveling heavy, wet snow. If you are in spots like Minneapolis, Milwaukee, or Chicago, expect the emergency rooms to be jam-packed starting Sunday night and running straight through Tuesday. What keeps me up at night is the thought of folks getting stuck in their cars out in the whiteout because they thought they could beat the storm. Please, if you absolutely must drive, tell a loved one exactly where you are going and when you will get there, and keep that survival kit in the trunk. Before I sign off on this deep dive, I want to leave you with a few action items and a little heart-to-heart. Number 1, get your chores done today. By the time Sunday afternoon rolls around, it is going to be too dangerous to be running errands. Number 2, make sure you have a way to hear the alarms while you sleep Sunday night, whether that is a weather radio or a loud app on your phone. Number 3, knock on your neighbor's door, especially if they are older or might need a hand. That 5-minute chat could honestly save a life. And finally, never forget that the snow melts, but the kindness we show each other during the rough times leaves a mark that lasts forever. We are about to be tested, our grid, our nerves, and our faith. But I promise you, we will weather this together. I'm praying for safety and protection over every single one of you, and I hope we can use this moment to really love on our neighbors. Keep your eyes on the sky and stay safe. Mother Nature is waking up, but we are ready for her. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be right here watching this bomb cyclone spin up and keeping you posted every step of the way. Do me a favor and hit that like button, join the family if you haven't subscribed, and please leave a comment if you need a specific prayer request right now. Until we talk again, stay ready, watch out for one another, and hold on to the hope that help is never too far away. Strap in, friends. This storm is about to put on quite a show, and I'll catch you in the next update. Godspeed.
Hang on, though. Before I go, I need to zoom in on a few of our big cities that are staring down the barrel of this thing. To my family up in the Twin Cities, the airport is already pulling out the heavy artillery for winter ops, so expect a mess. You guys are looking at the bullseye for snow, and when you mix that with sub-zero wind chills, it is, frankly, life-threatening to be outdoors. That stretch of Interstate 35 running down to Des Moines, it is going to turn into a parking lot with zero visibility if these models are right.
Over in Milwaukee and southeast Wisconsin, you are getting a double dose, the main blizzard, plus whatever moisture the big lake decides to dump on you.
If you are near the water, the wind is going to whip that snow into drifts so deep you won't be able to tell where the road ends and the ditch begins.
Chicago, you are in a tricky spot, balancing right on the razor's edge between deep snow and a slushy mix. Flying out of O'Hare or Midway? Honestly, I would make other plans because it is going to be chaotic on the tarmac. Downtown might get off easy, but the northern suburbs like Schaumburg and Evanston are likely going to get absolutely walloped. Detroit, get ready for a 1-2 punch. The system's snow first, followed by the lake effect engine firing up off Huron and St. Clair. The thumb is going to get buried. And to my hardy folks in the UP, prepare yourselves, because this one looks like one for the history books. Towns like Marquette and Escanaba might be dug in for days with the combination of system snow and the relentless lake bands. And moving over to Cleveland and Northeast Ohio, that is where the story changes from a snow globe to a slushy nightmare. Have you ever seen the weather flip a switch so fast? Folks flying out of Cleveland Hopkins are in for a double whammy, dealing with winter grit first and then some nasty storms as things change over. For my neighbors in the snowbelt, places like Chardon, Mentor, and Ashtabula County, don't put those shovels away because the lake effect machine is going to keep churning long after the main system leaves. Columbus, Cincinnati, and Dayton, you guys are stuck in that messy middle ground where snow might turn into thunderstorms, and that is a recipe for a real headache. Please be careful on the roads, fam, because if that early snow gets hit with a temperature spike before the storms, we are looking at a flash freeze nightmare. Indianapolis, you are right in the bullseye for some wild weather overnight. And the airport there is likely to deal with a mix of winter trouble and storm delays. What keeps me up at night is that this nasty weather is hitting while most of you are in bed, so please make sure you have a way to wake up if a warning comes through. St. Louis and the Missouri crew, you need to tie things down for Sunday night because that squall line is bringing some serious wind with it. Lambert Airport is watching things like a hawk, and we might hear tornado sirens around the metro, even if the overall danger isn't off the charts. Memphis and West Tennessee, you have a similar sleepless night ahead, but thankfully the air isn't quite unstable enough to cause a massive outbreak. Nashville and Middle Tennessee might get some heavy gust and a quick spin up, but we are lucky that one key ingredient for a disaster is missing this time. Let's chat about the East Coast now, because even if you aren't in the eye of the storm, there are still a few things you need to keep on your radar. Buffalo, the thruway is going to be a mess, and the Tug Hill Plateau might just get buried under those relentless bands of heavy snow. Rochester is caught in the crosshairs for both the storm and the lake effect, so getting around the greater area is going to be a real challenge. Boston and New England, you are getting off easy on the warm side, so expect mostly rain washing over the cities with just a bit of mixing. Logan Airport might have a few slow moments, but be thankful you aren't dealing with the chaos the Great Lakes airports are facing.